前阵子，百达翡丽在东京举办的钟表艺术大展，除了丰富的博物馆藏品以及现行全系列的手表，还有针对这次展览打造的地区限量款，每一个面向都让人大开眼界。除此之外，我们更与百达翡丽总裁 Thierry Stern 进行一场难得的专访，由他来亲自解密百达翡丽钟表艺术大展的精彩重点。
We have really the three panels. You have to choose the museum pieces. Museum pieces, it's always tricky because I don't like to take them out of the museum. They are fragile. It's something dangerous. You don't want to break them. You don't want to lose them. But you're going to have to take some museum pieces who have let's say the history of the place where you're going to do something. Then you also have to bring the history of Patek Philippe. That's also very important to show to the people, listen, Patek Philippe, they were the first one to make a wristwatch minute repeater. We were the first one to do a perpetual calendar. People have to know that because they know the name of Patek Philippe. They say, oh, Patek Philippe, oh, it's a good name, but why? We have to teach them with the museum pieces that it is because we were the first one to create those type of movements. That's very important. The second one is the collection. Collection is very important, I think, because there is no retailers around the world who can carry the whole collection. The only place where you will see the whole actual collection is Geneva in our own store. So why? Because it's too expensive. Then no retailers can have the whole collection, and we don't have the capacity to deliver it. So when you come in such an exhibition, you have to show the whole collection. This is, I think, a beautiful time for somebody who likes watches to see the Aquanaut, the Nautilus, the Calatrava, the Ellipse, the Grand Complication. They are all there. So that's very important. And the third one, I would say, yes, it's the limited series. Limited series is very complicated because you should not come just with a different dial. Many brands, they always do limited series because they have the yellow dial, the green dial, and they are just changing something. I don't call that a limited series. If you are willing to do something important, you need to have a new movement, a new case, a new color, everything together. And to choose that, yes, you have to know the market. Japan is a very knowledgeable market. It's not a surprise why we came with 2 new movements in Japan. 2 is a lot. I should have maybe come with only 1. But why 2? Because Japanese, they are very professional and knowledgeable. So for me, it was really a pleasure to show them 2 new movements. I knew they will appreciate it, they will understand it. So it's really up to the market. You have to judge it and to adapt it. But the most difficult part is not what to bring, it's how many pieces you're going to create. If I'm doing too many of them, it's dangerous. If I'm doing not enough, it's also complicated. And this is the hardest part. It's a very tough choice to say we need 200 pieces or we need 400 pieces. And this is something, I don't think that customer will understand that because it's not their problem, and I understand. But for us, it's very important. I think, Tokyo and Japan is a very important market for Patek. We should not forget that first time that they were, let's say, knowing about Patek Philippe was over 150 years ago. There was already relation between Antoine Norbert de Patek and the Japanese market. So this market is one of the 5 top market that we have. And it's very important for us, I think, to do such an event here as they really enjoy craftsmanship, technical side, the work of the movement, the skill and the precision. So this market really deserved to have such an exhibition. It's a big market, they are very interested, and I think there's a lot of potential. Of course, again, I cannot supply enough watches, but it is the same with every market. Even Taiwan would be the same also. I know people would dream to have twice the amount of watches that we can produce, but that's also the most difficult part of Patek. We are aiming for quality and not quantity. So that's what I have also to explain here in Japan. Very often people are asking me, why are you doing such an event? It's a matter of explaining who we are, what we are doing, and it takes time. yes, when you love something who is beautiful, like a beautiful Patek Philippe watch, it takes time and you have to wait for it. By doing such an exhibition, I think that people are understanding also why it takes so much time. This is also important to do. It's not a commercial event, it's more a passion event. Well, it's a tough question because you never know. There are so many cities and so many places where we could do such an event, but I have to be realistic. You know, it takes time, it takes a lot of energy. For sure, also it takes a lot of money, and I have to really study it very carefully. The next one we decided already, who will happen in 2 years. It's going to be in Europe. So if you like pasta and pizza, this will be a good place. Let's say it that way. For the future, then I will have to see. Of course, I'm not going to tell anything because I still have to keep it on one side secret. But we still have always to think about how big is the market. I cannot do such an exhibition in a smaller market. It's not possible. It takes too much time, too much energy. So we need to do it only on the biggest market we have. Otherwise, for example, maybe in Europe, I should do one for several countries together. You know, when you are talking about Japan, it's a big country. I can do it. You are talking about, different places. I can do it for America, whatever. But otherwise, I have to be realistic. I cannot use so many human power to do it in a smaller place. It's not possible. Well, I must say that the impact wasn't that bad for Patek, to be frank. Luckily for us, we have been always saying to the retailers that they have to work with the local clientele. So when the pandemic came, there was no more traveling, there were no more tourists coming. But for Patek, as the business plan was to say, work with your local client, it wasn't that difficult. Everybody could still sell watches to their client. They managed really to bring the watches to the client at home. They could manage also to do some business. And on the other side, don't forget that we are very lucky. We're only producing 70,000 pieces. So the impact wasn't that big compared to a major brand who is producing 1 million watches. And to be frank, I must say, and it's maybe not very business-wise oriented, but I think it was a nice relief for a lot of people at Patek. We could rest a little bit, and more important, we could do a lot of things that we never have time to do. Paper sorting, working on different analyses, and that's what we did. We had to shut down for nearly 2 months, and we took advantage of it to do some work that we never have time to do. So at the end of the day, I think that we lost maybe 10-15% of the business, but we recovered very quickly afterwards. So it wasn't really damageable for us. The core value is very simple. We are a family business dedicated at 200% only on watchmaking. We have a passion about watchmaking. We don't have a passion to make money with a business. We have a passion to make beautiful movement and beautiful case and to adapt it to every generation. The core value is really the knowledge. Knowledge about the movement, as I say, knowledge about how to make a beautiful case, how to understand enamel, how to understand how to make a bracelet. When I was 19 years old, I started really to study at Patek. I was going from one bench as a polisher to the other bench as a watchmaker or to whatever, diamond setter. I learned everything. Those are the core value of a family business. If you want to do it, first you have to enjoy it. And this is what I will say to my kids also. Don't take over Patek Philippe if you don't want to. You have to enjoy it. And this is the most important key. And I think this is really important. It makes the difference in terms of quality. When I'm fighting, it's only about quality. I always think at the client, this client is gonna spend a lot of money investing in a Patek Philippe. The least I can do is to be sure that the value will be there in the watches. And this is the most important.